There's no matching requirements to it. They're going to write us a $100 check to improve the animal shelter. Some of the improvements necessary starts in top A1 of the list is HVAC improvements, improving temperature control in the building, ventilation for the animals, and then other improvements. And I believe there's a presentation in the packet that goes over them in some detail. Storage, the flow of the facility, and various TLC items over the years. It's a fairly old facility, I think from 1950s or 1960. And had a significant expansion in the 1980s, early 80s. And I don't think it's seen a whole lot since then. So the funds will be sort of used first for the HVAC improvements, and then other improvements as we go through them. We've engaged a firm called Design Learn Incorporated. Help the facility and the shelf. So with that, I'll let you add anything or else.
Any questions from the committee?
Sure. Thank you both for coming tonight, and thank you for going after this plan for this much needed upgraded facility. When do you anticipate that this grant will come down to the city?
I think the paperwork will probably be a couple months, usually 2-3 months afterwards. Yep. So and we just kicked off our design work on it. So I think in 2023 we want to start the process.
So we could tentatively say like fall 2023 maybe.
Yeah, or possibly sooner, but I usually get in trouble when I say that. So all works together.
You just don't want those funds to go back to the.
No, we definitely not. And this is my favorite kind of grant, which is the grant that we didn't necessarily ask for. So just give it to us.
Thank you.
Vice Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Sin. Will there be any expansions where they're going to be able to add more animals, such as the stray cats that are flowing around?
So the cat room is one of the areas that we want to address, have better space for the cats. I believe the cat room is also the laundry room at this point, if I remember correctly, which is not an ideal setup. So I think getting a cat room that's better set up is one of the goals. How exactly we can do that in the space plan, I think still remains to be seen. And, there's also great need for storage in the building. So it's kind of bursting at the seams. So we're trying to figure out if there's ways to help that and make the space use a little more efficient.
My next and probably last question. With the deceased animals, what are you going to do? Are you going to expand that freezer area to create more space? Because I know we have more roadkill and more dead animals than we can recall.
Right. I believe they also cremate animals at the facility. I know we just did a bunch of repairs to the crematorium. The freezer area is not something that I believe was particularly emphasized by the staff, but I think it's something that design work will look at and make sure it's right sized for the throughput of the facility. They're starting with looking at how many animals we've dealt with over the last 3 years, analyzing those in the time periods, what the ebbs and flows of animals are, and then comparing that to what we see across the country.
Yeah, I think that would be a great asset due to the fact that you might get more animals that come in that you cannot cremate at the time. So animals are not like overflowing, and you have to put a piece of a tree on top of the freezer to hold
Right.
animals.
Yes.
So,
I get the sense that you're referring to a specific incident.
just over the years, you know, those are the things in which that we had to do because there was just too many roadkills that were happening. And when you're getting something done of this magnitude, just cover all grounds.
Yep.
So we don't have to, you know, revert back to the old ways.
Well, your point about roadkill is particularly well taken because I think that's something that wouldn't necessarily come top of mind to someone that, you know, doesn't have an extensive DPW experience.
Exactly.
You know, I don't think necessarily the staff were immediately thinking about roadkill, so appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Any more questions from the committee? Well, seeing none, thank you. Thank you for your presentation. I think this is a wonderful gift. I drive by that facility very often. I'm seeing a lot of people out there. They're gonna be happy about this upgrade. If it passes tonight, we only gonna turn away from money. No. So thank you. Thank you for all that you do.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you all.
Apparently I have my name on it, so I'll take that too.
Is there anyone who wants to public like to speak to this item for the third time? All in favor? Aye. Discussion. Make a motion.
Second.
Discussion. I think this is a no-brainer. I think this is truly a blessing, a gift for our animal shelter. I don't see any issues with it. I will be supporting it as well. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think this is past due. This should have happened a long time ago. And based on my experience through working with Department of Public Works and knowing how beneficial this facility is and how important it is to the communities and to the city. Like I said, this was well overdue, and I'm going to support this item also.
Thank you.
Chair, thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to give thanks to the city staff for keeping their ears to the ground and looking out for these kind of a grant that the city could use these to improve, you know, the facility, especially as a crew shelter. And I'm in full support of this. So.
Make motion that we close the discussion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Have a motion to adjourn.
Not yet. You got to approve the item.
I already approved that.
You have, but the rest of your colleagues. There you go.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Now. A motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chair, make motion that we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Go home. So, I just want to ask a question to the public safety, if I may. So, we have some things on the agenda that can pause. And one in particular was the fire department. You know, when it was really, you know, a lot of things going on. I want to know how you feel about hearing that sooner than later, or do you think we should just let that rest? Because sometimes you give things space to bend itself, you know, or we can be in the line of fire, no pun intended. of trying to have this meeting and I don't want to raise something that's not there. But I just want y'all to know that that's still in the queue. We have, electric cars in the queue, but the conversation around the fire department was the hottest item that's going in towards the
Is the person that, put this motion to you, are they willing to let it rest?
I'll do follow up. That's a good question. I do follow up in reference to that. But it has passed for a minute here.
So I do believe if the committee has been asked to hear it, we can, my personal suggestion that we hear what they have to say. It's just not necessary that we have to take any action on it.
No. No, that would be just an open discussion. That would be basically a workshop for
Right?
people to vent, right? That's one of those talking meetings. I want to do a follow-up to the maker and see if they still in that space to really want to have that conversation. If not, if they move forward, then, we'll table it.
My other suggestion is that, is it possible that we can just talk to the leaders to see?
We can do that. I mean, technically, we're supposed to do something around it on an open form. But I can reach out to the maker, see where we have. And then we have all the interns and all the COLA was going to have something on the item tonight. That's why we finished so early, because this is going to be 2 items. One is about the electric cars, and they want more time to let us do research or whatever on the actual electric cars or whatever, so they will get that. But the reason why I'm saying this is October, 11th, November. That's it. And if I don't want to stay at nothing if you don't have to.
Yeah, just go to the meeting.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I have a quick question. In this meeting,
Yes.
the anti-violence people, Jeremy, they presented there's some of their findings, I think, speaks about the workshop. Just wonder whether we could find out whether the file report has been submitted.
No, I have not been submitted yet. Honestly, I think I was not here. I think our vice chair was here for that particular meeting.
Jeremy, anti-violence.
Oh, yes,
Sean.
yes. No. I haven't received, well,
Yes.
the chair hadn't received anything.
No, I haven't received it yet. Honestly, we really should be looking for 2. We should be looking for Sean Reeves, and we should be looking for another, because basically had 2 meetings around it.
Mhm.
And they was talking about things with data driven.
Right.
We was talking about duplication, right? We didn't want to duplicate services, right? So we wanted to honestly see how that looks. So what I do, I reach out to the legislator and see can we get that information. And I do it. Okay. Thank you.
A few questions, sir.
No, most definitely. That's why we're here. We need to do the follow-ups, right? So we can, so things right. So, definitely. Thank you. We good?